SCP Foundation is an association of anonymous authors who write small horror stories in the genre of science fiction, the events of which take place in the same universe. The main resource of its media community is their own website, where all canonical works of this universe appear. This community has branches all over the world. In my media ethnography study focused on the Russian branch of the Foundation, as this branch of the community is one of the most active. The purpose of my research was to learn about the history of the SCP Foundation, as well as Russian branch. I was interested in understanding how people on the internet have managed to combine their small stories into one universe, given that these people probably don't even know each other's real names. I would also like to find out if there is any structure in the community, if there are leaders who have more power, or everything is based on the equality. During my ethnographic research, I noticed that the community has its own traditions and particular humor. The tradition of the community is to write some stories themselves, which will be promoted by the rest of the community, if most people like the author's idea. This promotion can help their stories to get to the site of Russian branch of SCP Foundation. The humor of the community lies in the constant use of phrase data deleted. This is a technique used by those who write report stories. While in the context of story this detail can cause horror, encouraging the reader to figure out what the deleted data says, in the context of humor this technique can be used to enhance the funny effect of a long familiar joke. After that, I decided that I will be creating and posting memes as part of my participation in niche. As I mentioned previously, many community jokes are created using the phrase data deleted. I used this phrase when searching for and creating memes that I posted on VK and X. In order to better understand the essence of these jokes, I decided to contact one of the active members of the community. I introduced myself as a newcomer to the SCP community and asked him to explain to me what exactly this is the humor of these memes. From his words, I realized that at some point some authors of articles began to use the phrase data deleted so often that people began to add it everywhere, bringing it to absurdity. Memes with this phrase have a double bottom. This first layer is a simple joke tied to the fact that obvious punchline is replaced with data deleted. The second layer refers back to the time when there were a lot of new people in the community who used the phrase data deleted too often for horror effect. At the end of my ethnographic work, I can say that I was able to find out the history of the community and its hierarchy. As for history, I was helped by a video from Solik's YouTube channel. In it, the author explained how the site and the SCP universe came to be. It all started with the first story written on an anonymous forum called 4chan. This first story was called SCP-173, Statue. Many people liked this story, and soon the author had the first imitators. People who were interested in this subject soon decided that all of these stories should be part of the same universe. And in order to simplify access to the content that user created, it was decided to move all the stories to their own website. Thus, the SCP Foundation community was born. From what I understand, the height of members' position in the community depends on the time spent in the community, as well as the contributions made. It's funny that the person I mentioned earlier who started the whole history of SCP didn't appear in the field of visibility of the community anymore. At the top of the community there are the first followers of that nameless author. They have even managed to insert themselves into the history described in stories. They call themselves Council 05. Till now, this community exists and continues to grow and inspire people to create different stories.